Gremlins was a successful 1984 horror comedy film about a boy whose father manages to buy him a fictional pet called a Mogwai for Christmas, and names him Gizmo. Unfortunately, Gizmo has some strange side effects to certain activities, like getting wet, for example, causes him to multiply. His bastardized duplicates break another rule and eat after midnight, which transform them into the hideous creatures called Gremlins, which start tearing shit up and all hell breaks loose. The same year as the movie's release, a video game adaptation came out for the Atari 2600. There are two screens. In the first one, you'll control a guy that's supposed to be Billy, the lead actor in the film, but he looks like an old bald dude. Billy was a teenager and his hair looked like a Brillo pad. No matter, your objective is to catch falling Mogwais and protect them from the hamburgers down below. You don't want them eating after midnight, and if they do, they'll form a cocoon for what will later hatch as a gremlin. The gameplay borrows a lot from Kaboom, but the control isn't nearly as smooth. If 8 Mogwais get to the burgers, it's onto the gremlin screen. But before I get to that, another point on the Mogwai screen. You can't die here. If you get through 32 Mogwais, you've cleared the stage and you have to battle the gremlins anyway, so the only thing affected by letting them eat the burgers is how many points you end up with, which was a lot more important in video games back then, but still, it kinda makes the Mogwai section seem less important. Now, the gremlin screen is a shooter where you'll have to blast a round of descending gremlins. If a gremlin gets to the bottom of the screen, you lose a life. Real basic shit. You'll also get a lifeline of sorts called the Flash Cube. By pulling the joystick back, any gremlins at the bottom of the screen will run away, and the ones up top will be momentarily stunned. But you only get to use them twice per screen. The perspective of this gremlin screen is very reminiscent of Space Invaders. Now, you'd think that by combining Kaboom with Space Invaders, you'd get an awesome game. But you don't. Like I said, the Mogwai screen is unimportant in the final scheme of things, so you really don't even have to bother with it. Also, the gremlins are slow as shit, so you're gonna get pretty bored shooting at them. Eventually, after passing a few levels, the gremlins will finally start offering up a challenge, including their eventual ability to multiply through water. But by that point, the Mogwais are ridiculously fast because there's no balance in speed between the two screens. So it's a good thing in a way that catching all the Mogwais is unimportant, because you'd never be able to get far enough through the game to see the tougher gremlin stages. One problem with the shooting stage is the fact that you can only fire one shot at a time. It makes the game very sluggish. It's also very bland in general. The gremlins don't have any kinds of attacks. They don't change patterns. Nothing different ever happens. It's very repetitive. Sure, the game gets faster and the gremlins will start multiplying, but that's it. There's not much to look at here either. I know it's Atari, but even by 1984 standards, it's still very blocky and the backgrounds are a mishmash of pixelated crap. The sound is another poor quality of this game. You'll hear the same fucking noise each time a Mogwai falls, and because there are so many and it happens so fast, it gets really redundant. They could have at least included the Gremlins theme song. Instead we get this. If you listen hard enough, it almost sounds like it's trying to be a sped up version of the Gremlins theme, but the timing is way off, so I'm convinced it's something totally different, and what I'm hearing is an audio illusion. Gremlins isn't a totally unplayable game, but it's got too many problems to even be considered decent.